What's up, everybody? OG here. Welcome to the channel, and we've had a busy morning already. We started off with the eFootball review of their nostalgic 30-year anniversary update. Nothing in gameplay, though. FC just felt like grinding and playing some football, and UFL, of course, had some gameplay updates. So shout out to strikerz for at least continuing to try, I guess you could say, even though if you look through the notes, you're going to see a few things. One, you're going to see some things that they're supposedly updating that they've already had in previous notes and just, I guess, never updated, because in the past they said they updated them. We would review it. We would say this didn't even change. And then now they're back in the notes, such as like updating the midfield and defense gaps and lines. And I don't understand it. They're getting to the point where they're repeating things that they said they fixed a long time ago and then never told us anything about not fixing them. So what's the deal with that? And also, what's the deal with splitting up these Game Changers packs? Because I can tell you what it looks like. To me, it looks like they want you to spend money on both. For instance, I used this example earlier, but in case you want Lamal and Van de Ven, let's just say, they're players in the white pack and in the black pack. Instead of putting in X amount of money and maybe getting one or the other, or maybe even both, now you would have to put in double the money. Or, of course, you could split your money up, but let's say you only had the minimum amount for one pack. Now you have to choose one or the other, or, again, spend double the money. Let's just say that strikerz is hoping that you say, it's not that much extra. I'm going to spend X amount on each pack. That's the only reason I could think of as to why they would split them up. Considering you could still have a white dragon card and a black dragon card and have them in one pack where you could pack one or the other or both. So maybe it's because I happen to know some things that are going on with strikerz. But either way, considering the fact there's already a Team of the Month pack out there, now there's two separate added Game Changers packs for just more skins. Some players doubling up on skins as usual. I mean, this just goes right in with what I was saying before, where they're trying to get as much money as possible from the players. But we are here to discuss the changes or lack thereof that strikerz have made with this update. I say lack thereof because, as you're going to see in this video, none of the glitches have been touched. They added several things in the notes, some of which, like I said earlier, have already been in the notes from before, and they never said anything about not making the fixes. Meaning, let's say they said, we fixed the depth of the defensive line, we fixed the gaps between the midfield and defense. Well, if you fixed it before, why would it be added in the notes again? You never came to us and said, we didn't fix this, even though we pretty much came to that conclusion. And that's the same with this update as it is with every other update, where you're sitting here going, well, maybe they fixed this, maybe they didn't. Maybe this improved like by an increment, maybe it didn't. It's just so minute that it's pointless even talking about. The shooting seems exactly the same. I will say the headers have changed, but it's almost like they turn it off or on when they update these big problems, right? Scoring those headers automatically was a big problem. So now it seems like, and this could be wrong, but this is what it feels like, the tallest players have just been totally nerfed out of being able to head the ball. I put in Luka, went for crosses. Every one of his headers was terrible. But my Omega, who's a bigger player but not like super tall, he's not one of the players you never necessarily get to try to spam those crosses to. His headers were the exact same. I almost scored on a corner the same way you could always score on corners, right? So it seems like just another textbook UFL/strikerz quote-unquote fix to a problem. They just totally nerf something out. The goalkeepers go from saving nothing to saving everything. There's no balance. And I could go on and on. The finesse shots. You went from being able to score every finesse shot to being able to score no finesse shots. And I noticed in these updates, this ties into the things that we see in the updates and then kind of guessed, did it really change, did it not? And then we see them again later on in the notes. What I believe is happening is they are just wanting the notes to look good. So they padded them up with all of these things that you can't really check. They never provide specifics in these notes or after the notes so we can actually know what we're looking for. They are always extremely vague, like improve throw-ins. Okay, well, how did you improve throw-ins? Improve defense. Okay, well, that's a very wide array of what you could have improved. Can you be more specific? Yet they never are, either in the notes or after the notes. They're always all of these vague things where players are left guessing if there were changes or not. When they get specific, like I said about the headers, it's always an extreme. They either totally nerf something or totally buff something. I use the example of being able to score every header for taller players. Now they're just terrible. They can barely even win a header. With finesse shots, you could score every one. Then they turned it to where you could score like no finesse shots. It's always one or the other. Goalkeepers miss everything, then goalkeepers save everything. So the biggest changes, they always go from one extreme to the other, and then the rest seems like just some padded nonsense that they're purposely vague about, so you can't really check whether there was a change or not. And now they're to the point where they're padding these notes with stuff they've already supposedly fixed and apparently did not. Now, I want to discuss how every single time I review any game, but in particular UFL, and well, I should say eFootball too, there's always these players that seem like they're protectors. Like, if I didn't know any better, I would think they worked for the development companies. And they always say the same thing, like, why aren't you this hard on this game? Why aren't you this hard on FC? Well, the thing is, I am extremely hard on every game, and that's how it should be. You guys deserve to know the truth. The sugarcoating does nothing, right? It's the same in real life. Would you rather be lied to and be happy because you're ignorant to what's going on, or would you rather have the truth, even if it might hurt your feelings? At least now you know the truth, and depending what situation it is, maybe you can make a change to improve your situation. I don't know, maybe you have a huge zit on your nose, and someone could say, you look great, and not tell you, and you're sitting there in La La Land thinking everything's good, and then another person tells you, bro, you have the worst zit on your nose, you need to do something about it, it looks terrible. Well, yeah, that sucks. You might get your feelings hurt, but now you can do something about the zit so you don't go out in public with this monster on your nose. I mean, that's just an example, but you get what I'm saying. It's always better to tell the truth. It's always better to receive the honest truth. And the honest truth is, this is a very bad football game, and that's being nice. It just isn't football. Forget about just the fixes. Just the game in general is not football. The way the pass is locked, the way you ping the ball around, off-balance passes being rocketed straight to your player's foot, crosses connecting every time to a player's head, not being able to play through balls even with an open lane, because if a defender's closer than the through ball target, it will lock on the defender just because their passing system's messed up. The lack of ability to properly defend, even the skilled defending or skilled attacking is actually just UFL skill, meaning it's not true to football skill. It's not true to football knowledge that will make you good at this game. It's its own separate world where you have to navigate through all of the glitches and the nonsense that UFL deems as football. Now, it blows my mind that so many people still play this game and are a part of this game with all of this going on, especially the money grabbing. I mean, eFootball is way worse just because the amounts are higher, but the fact that FC, where EA Sports is well known as a greedy company, is way better than strikerz as far as what they provide their players for free, right? The ability to get all these amazing players in FC for absolutely nothing, or even a paid team pass for $9, the amount of players and legends that you get compared to having these skins which actually have expiration dates, and knowing you're going to just have to keep buying skins over and over for the same players that you've boosted up, or sell those players off and restart from the bottom just because you're bored, right? Like, for instance, I have Mbappe, Nico Williams, Dembele, Van de Ven. Will I ever get rid of them? No. But when their skins expire, then they want me to buy more skins, and then more skins, and then more skins. And once I get a full team full of top-rated players that I've maxed out, and all I can do is add skill after skill, and then I get all the skills that I want, then what? Because it's not that far away that will happen. When you play a game and you grind a game out, it happens pretty quick. I already, with my first account, maxed my team all the way, to the point where I was looking at it like, bro, I'm not even a year into this game and I've beat the game. What am I going to do? That's where the plan that FC has works. That's where eFootball, as greedy as it is, the fact that they continuously update the same legends with just better skills, better roles, different positions, stuff like that over and over and over. It's a greedy plan because you have to keep spending money, but it works. UFL has nothing to make the game last. They have nothing that says, hey, we want to be around here for a long time and here's our plan to do that. It is just a dead-end game that's trying to get as much money as they can. If it's not, please let me know in the comment section what I'm missing, where I'm wrong. Because you better believe I've thought deeply about this. You better believe I know some things as well, but I can't go into that. And there's enough information that you can deduct on your own anyways, that you don't need any extra behind the scenes information to see what's going on. So, as usual, I'm just being honest. The football on the pitch in itself, just forget about everything else. It just isn't football. I challenge you to download eFootball. It's free. Play that. I challenge you, if and when FC 25 is offered as a free game, to play that. And then come back and tell me that I'm not correct about UFL. It just is not football. So at the end of the day, did they make any changes with this update? I'll say no different than any other update. It looks like they totally nerfed out the tallest players being able to just automatically score, which is definitely a good thing, but that's something that should have never been in the game anyways. It's not like, oh great, they got rid of this broken thing, now the game's good. Well, no, because there's still all the glitches that didn't get touched. There's still the defense that's not properly able to defend. I mean, the game is still broken. And most of what was in the notes, you could flip a coin and decide whether it was even touched or not, honestly. So that's just the truth. Whether you like it or not, that is an honest review of the game. I played 2 games in a row against the same player. I won the one you saw. I lost the next one 2-1. And as you could see in my second goal, which I'm going to play again here, the game is majorly about being able to take advantage of glitches. If you don't realize, I just played an over-the-top through ball that locked up my opponent's defense. He couldn't switch his defensive players, and his center back automatically just ran in behind my attacker. And I know this because it is a glitch. It happens every time this type of through ball is played. You see the defender just kind of nonchalant runs behind, giving me, just as well as anybody that plays this ball, a free opportunity on goal. Now that summarizes UFL. That summarizes the quote-unquote skill that it takes. Navigating through the glitches, which ones you need to be successful, which ones you need to learn how to defend, and playing their nonsense passing system, beating the nonsense defense that can't adequately defend, using a nonsense extra sprint that shouldn't even be in the game, the L1R2, in order to get results. That really is, in summary, what the game is about. So I can't really get behind this game as a football-loving fan that does this for literally the sake of the beautiful game. A game that I played all my life, a game that I now play on the sticks with the same amount of rigor, the same amount of passion that I played real football. So unless you're someone that doesn't care about wasting your time playing a non-football style in a football simulator, this just isn't a good football game. That's just the truth. So, with that being said, keep grinding, keep having fun. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Join the Discord. The link is in the bio. I will continue to provide, let's say, news on these updates. Occasionally, I'll play, whether there's an update or maybe somebody can convince me to run a tournament where we could try to make this game, good football. So I'm not saying that I'm totally done with UFL is basically what I'm getting at. But if you want a day-to-day, give me everything about UFL, like I did at the beginning when the game was more innocent and had the opportunity to potentially turn to a good game before strikerz totally ruined that, then I can tell you I'm not the content creator for you. The game is just, it's not football, so I can't cover it in the way that I would a normal football game. That's the bottom line. I just wanted to clear that up for anybody on the fence about this channel. But you better believe if by some miracle strikerz turns this game around, if by some miracle they start going in the right direction, turning this to a football game, I will be the first one to cover it, the first one to admit it's a good game, the first one to be playing and grinding again. This is the game I got the highest ever ranking of any football games. Top 10 in the world, and I would love to do that again because it is still my most viewed game that I cover. Videos, streams, all of it. So it does me no good to not cover this game or to give these type of reviews. This is just the honest truth, whether it helps me out as a content creator or not. So I hope that clears things up. Hope to see you soon, but if not, I wish you well. Peace out.